Well, so you have to keep working until you can find something, obviously.
Well, I mean, I can't be retarded.
No.
I have a family to provide for. If I got money coming in, that's a good thing. So if I have work, I need to take advantage of it. But it's not going to put an end for me looking at it for a trailer.
No. But I do remember you saying that you didn't want to do business with Baskins anymore. I remember you saying that.
Well, it's because the kid of his, I worked with him, and everything that came out of his mouth was lies. Oh, that motor got a fresh motor, blah, 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 blah. I couldn't even get it home and lost 5 gallons of freaking oil on the highway. Everything he said about it was lies. One lie right after the other lie. So if I do go down there, I don't want to hear anything they got to say. I'll look at it for myself, and if they open their mouth, I'll let it go right over my head.
Because you know they'll be
lying. And I
lying.
won't have a Ketchum hat on. I'm not gonna listen to them whatsoever. They have a couple trailers down there, and I won't look at them. I can look at them. They have live chat, so I can call them up and then go out and look at them.
Yeah, that's nice that you could do that.
But I'm not expecting much. It is Don Baskin. Sometimes you got to start somewhere.
So it was last Monday. You came home last Monday, and here it is 1 week later. And so you spend a whole week at the house. I mean, I enjoyed having you home, but if the wheels aren't turning, you're not earning.
That's right. The donuts aren't turning, they're not earning.
That's right.
Ruth, you gobble them all up and you won't get any anyway.
Those were some good donuts, by the way.
Yep.
But it's always nice. I wish that we were independently wealthy and you could just stay home and we can just.
Well, one of the things I did, like you were talking yesterday, I don't know why that camera is right on my face. One of the things that Ruthie kept asking me about, why is Halfass Kustoms my favorite channel? And it literally is. Why? Because that was a direction my life had taken from my teenage years into my 20s. If you hear me tell you that I didn't drive during my 20s, well, one, I was doing time most of my 20s. But when I wasn't doing time, one of the things that I did was buy, fix, and sell cars. And at the time, my first wife and I separated and went our own two ways. And I know there's people just waiting to hang me with whatever words that I say, so I'll be careful. But anyway, when I got locked up, she took all my tools, my 50 Chevy, my 51 Chevy, and my 53 GMC. She took stuff that I had kept somehow since I was 13 years old, all my artwork since I was in school. She took anything and everything that I had, took my dog and my cat, and called me and told me she had them killed. And so she even took the fixtures out of the walls, the ceiling fans out of the ceiling. She took everything. So when I finally got that taken care of and got that behind me, I didn't have tools, and all my equipment and all my hot rods and stuff that I was building were gone. So that was in '93, and I started driving truck, and I've been driving truck ever since then. So she asked me why I like Halfass Kustoms. Because that's what I like to do. That's what I've always liked to do. I've always liked working on old stuff and making stuff be and as nice as it can be, and enjoy them. I liked an old iron. And so when I watch him, I just like watching because that's what I like to do. So driving a truck, the government, because the government following behind the money, which is big outfits, they've destroyed trucking for what it is. It's not like what it used to be. Used to be you could go out and make a really good living driving a semi truck. Used to be truck drivers had respect for one another. Used to be that if you broke down, you would have 5 trucks pull over to make sure you would get back on your way. People looked out for one another, and the brokers were far and few in between, and the ones that did come out, they had to have a good reputation because word got around real quick if they were stealing from you or not. And so things have changed so bad now. You have 30 million illegal aliens came in, and almost all of them got CDLs. And meanwhile, when they were coming in and getting CDLs, over 80,000 trucking companies, some of our oldest and finest trucking companies this country's ever had, went belly up. And that 80,000 is, they've had many employees. No telling how many employees lost their jobs and their homes and so on and so on. So people are like feeling sympathetic for all these illegal aliens that come over here. Well, what about the 80,000 trucking companies with all their staff and employees that lost their homes and lost everything they had because they came over here and gave them CDLs? And so trucking just hasn't been the same. I used to be able to go out and make pretty good money running styrofoam to Montana and back between $3 and $4 a mile, depending on what I was doing. So, and they had booked. They would run that same stuff for $1.37 a mile. So you can't compete with that. So I don't know how they can operate for $1.37 a mile, but they destroyed the industry. And they're running up and down the highways, and they don't have the American attitude. They don't have the American desire to watch over one another. They have total disrespect for the highways and the laws. You'll see them, and they'll have a foot on the dash and their other foot driving the steering wheel while they got their phone in their hand, texting, going down the freaking road. And when they pass you, they're still in your lane, dragging their trailer in your lane. And so they got hipped and found out that people were talking about them. So now they drive with their curtains closed. And I don't even know how you drive with a semi truck with a freaking curtain closed. And why doesn't DOT see it? If I was to pull my curtain, I guarantee you I'd get pulled over. And that's another thing. DOT don't do their freaking job. They sit there, we hear all this stuff on the internet, how, that blah, blah, blah. They got this many. They got that many. Yeah, I guarantee you go out there and the freaking highways are filled full of them. Truck stops are filled full of them. They haven't even put a freaking scratch in the illegals driving semi-trucks. So anyway, trucking's just not what it used to be.
But you said that Brent out of Halfass Custom has a dream job. That has an absolute dream job.
Yeah, because his channel has grown enough where he's right under 200,000. That means he's got a good income. So he's probably making, I don't know, let's say, let's say we'll just try to be. I can't remember the word, but we won't go too aggressive. But let's say if he's making 30 grand a month. Who makes 30 grand a month? He don't have to work, and he's putting out a video every other day, and he's got 4 or 5 projects and 4 or 5 more projects on the way. And and he's got his heated shop. It's got the heat comes through the floor because that's the way they build stuff in Canada. And his new shop is way better than his old shop. And to me that'd be awesome. So that's awesome. I like what he does. That's why I watch his channel 100% of the time.
Now, what about his other channel? He has on the other side. What about that? What's that about?
It's called the other half.
It's called The Other Half. What's that about?
Well, it just gets other, he just gets other builds in there. So,
Okay, so it's kind of like a supplemental channel.
yeah.
Yeah. But he's living the dream there, having that garage. Is he your age? How old is he, do you think?
I don't think he's old as I am. He's got a son that's in his 20s, so I don't think he's nearly as old as I am. He might be close, probably within a decade and a half or somewhere. He's probably in his 50s, maybe.
Well, that would be nice to be able to have a heated shop and work on old cars and work when you want to and live off YouTube revenue. That would be wonderful. But we don't see that happening.
No, I'll be in heaven before that happens. So that that part of my life is done past, and I don't ever see it coming back my way. But it's nice to watch him though. So
He's made some good projects, some good builds. And again, we're talking about Halfass Customs. Your absolute favorite channel.
yeah. He's a pretty strong boy. He tries to act like he ain't, but I watched him take the whole front clip and pick it up off of a freaking, not a 49, but a 50 Chevrolet. And I couldn't do that. There's no way I could do that. Put me in a freaking hospital.
Well, hey, this is a good, I'm glad you said that because it's a good opportunity to talk about, once again, we've already addressed the issue, but let's talk about it again. And that is somebody had made a comment because you want either a flatbed or a step deck, and somebody had made a comment that that's for better suited for people in their 30s or at least 40s, 30s or 40s.
I always have to do what I'll always have to work. In fact, I got my last truck from Bob, and he was, how old was he? 73?
Mm-hmm. He was in his 70s.
And when we pulled up there, he was jumping and bouncing off of everything. And I got my flatbed trailer and truck from him. And the only reason why he was retiring is because he had an eye disease that was causing him to lose his eyesight. And you are who you are, and I am slowing way down, and I do get exhausted easy. But I believe that I need to go through more of that. I need to eat healthier. I need to work my body harder. If you lay around, you don't use it, you don't lose it. Look at my legs from driving the truck.
That's the skinny legs.
They've shriveled up to nothing, and that's a body of a truck driver's physique because they sit on their butt all day, and then they get boils on their butt, they get fissures, they get hemorrhoids, they get rashes, they get all kinds of things from sitting freaking 18 hours a day, and for 33 years, and it comes at a cost to drive that truck. You think somebody's just sitting there holding the steering wheel all day long? Well, when you sit there as a newbie and you jump in the truck and a year or two or three or four or five goes by, it was nothing. Try decade after decade after decade goes by. See how it affects you then.
Well, I wish I had some skinny legs. My legs could slim down. You can have some of the meat off my legs. I would love to have skinny legs.
Want meat, don't want meat. I need muscle.
Oh, well, yeah. Mine is just meat. Mine's not muscle. You can have some of the flesh off my legs.
You have those muscle legs. You've seen it. You probably got one tucked under the bed somewhere around.
I guess I'll never die to that. But checking out a man with muscle legs. But you're the only man for me, Stephen. We've been married almost 23 years, and I wouldn't trade you for a muscle man for anything. Because our fleshly bodies come and go.
I worked out when I was in my 20s. One time, and I always say it like I did it a lot, but one time I benched 300 pounds, but it took me 9 months to do it. I had a mental block, I guess it was, but I couldn't seem to get over 285. And I would work out with two and a quarter. But my max was 285. One time I pushed 300, and I never pushed it again. It was a one-time deal. Yeah, I'm a little guy, so pushing that kind of weight, you can imagine what kind of shape I was in. So I worked out pretty hard back in those days, trying to keep my body in condition. Plus, I was going to college, and so not only did I work out, I was trying to give myself an education. So
these were in the days long before I knew Stephen.
In my 20s.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't meet Stephen until he was
in my 20s when I was doing time.
Yeah, you were working out behind the bars. In fact, didn't they? The guards came to you. The prison guards came to you.
The prison guards didn't come to me about diddly squat. It was the lieutenant that called me in his office and told me to back off of my workout because I was intimidating his officers.
Oh, okay. So the lieutenant of the prison asked you, can they actually require you to stop working out?
No, they can't make me stop. What they can do is ship me to another area where they don't have weights, or they can put me in a hole or whatever. They can mess with your life.
Yeah, they can.
So,
but that's interesting that the request was made for you to stop working out, or to at least tone it down, because you were intimidating the prison guards.
Well, they put their hands on me. They had got themselves in trouble. They shouldn't have never put their hands on me.
Mm-hmm.
And I had just woke up, and I didn't know who was grabbing me. So.
Yep, that was long before I knew Stephen. I didn't meet him until he was 40 years old. And now you're coming up on 64.
Yeah, well, I love youth, but I wouldn't go back and do it over for nothing. No way. I wouldn't do it again. Man, I can't wait to get to heaven, where there's no more sin and hate and age and thistles and all the things that the earth is cursed with. So, if I like building cars, when I get to heaven, I can have a shop made of clouds and tools and all kinds of stuff. I can build me a 379 Peterbilt cloud that can go from planet to planet.
Well, wouldn't that be something? All right, well, Stephen's preparing to get out, to go to Minnesota, land of 10,000 lakes. Isn't that right? Land of 10,000 lakes. Isn't that the nickname for Minnesota?
Land of...
I believe it's called the land of 10,000 lakes.
It's really pretty up there.
Yeah, but you're not going up there for a vacation, though.
Bluebird sounds like he's ready to go. All warmed up. So Rick is giving me the finger, ladies and gentlemen. And why she does that? First she follows me around with the telephone, then starts giving me the finger. So, but y'all know what that means. Have a wonderful day. Have lots of fun right where you are. Don't forget to ring that ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. God bless, and later.